What's going on, everybody? How you doing today, Dave?
Hi.
What's going on, Dismal? My name's Pete Bogdanoff. Together we are middle-minded. Ooh, that was. So one day we're gonna get good at that.
That was certainly energetic.
Yeah. So, in an effort to put a little more structure, I'm going to read some statements today and then try to guide us through our podcast a little bit. We're talking about the subscription fatigue. I think more like what I mean by that is modern life. We lease everything from toll roads to phones to applications to TV to everything, security. Everything's a subscription. Everything's a monthly fee. You really can't leave your door without somebody's in your wallet already. But so when we talk about subscriptions, we didn't get here on accident. This isn't really about the conspiracy theory of who, more just that we're here. And I think we got to realize that some of the smartest people on earth, they knew how to take how the human brain works and then to wrap systems around it and wrap entertainment around it, enragement cycles. And, they learned how to control our attention, our brain waves, our responses, and they are not afraid to use it, even though it might sound very evil to purposely engage people in an emotional viewpoint of entertainment where you're being enraged and then you're being neutralized, then you're being consumed. What are you going to buy? And then they throw you through that. And we're literally doing that all day long on these social media sites from YouTube to Facebook, whatever. They all kind of react on this dopamine cycle that they've put us under. And with that comes a lot of subscriptions, and they end up anywhere. So I don't think it happened by accident. These are like what I would call, what I said, God tier business thinkers that decided to take this very big data understanding of the human psyche and then build mathematical algorithms to absolutely brainwash us. And my point is, they brainwashed us into individualism, that my opinion about my fashion, my sex, my family, my government, my country, my whatever, it all goes down to individualism. So that's really where I'm at. You guys, I'm just going to kind of leave this one blank. Subscription economies. What comes to mind for you all?
I mean, yeah, everything, if you think about it, everything's streaming now, right? You got, you know, I personally don't have a lot of accounts. We do as a family, my wife and kids, obviously. They got the Disney Plus, got got all that stuff. I don't think we have Hulu anymore. Netflix comes and goes. When there's something that she wants to watch, she'll subscribe and then she'll delete it, which is good because most people won't. Most people just keep it on and forget about it. I get things, I look through my bank statements, I'm like, what is this? What is it? $89. Oh, that's that. Sometimes it's an app for the kids that I got for when they were younger learning ABCs. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we need that anymore. Here I have paid $200 a year for the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm like, man, I could use that, right? So and the thing is that they auto renew. You forget about them, and unless you're on top of it,
I cancel them right away.
You're good like that. I'm lazy. I don't do it, and then and I could probably have twice as much money at the end of the year if I did. Personally, I have YouTube TV. I watch YouTube quite often, but YouTube, and I do pay for not having ads, right? So that's how they get you there. Hey, we're going to throw these ads there, but you can pay to not watch them like it because I hate it. Same thing with Spotify, to pay to get rid of the ads. But
so YouTube's not the only one. Spotify.
Well,
I was going to ask you where you listen to music.
No. I have
because
Spotify.
we used to have CD collections we bought and owned.
So iTunes. I don't listen to Spotify on my phone. I have the Spotify for the restaurant because we play French music and stuff from Spotify through the Sonos. And when I started there, yeah, we had a CD player, 5 disc changer. Now it's all this. But anyway, so I watch, and one of the only reasons I have the YouTube TV is I like to watch just regular local news, KTVU.
Okay.
In the morning, after I get back from dropping the kids off at school, have a coffee, watch 15 minutes of just what's going on that day. And that's pretty much all I watch from that.
Because can you get movies on there? Like I know you could pay for movies.
I think so.
But I think there's a bunch of free movies.
I think so. I think there's a ton. There's a ton of stuff. That's not the only thing I've ever watched. But I mean, there's also this Paris Bistro cooking channel that I do watch. I do watch that once in a while. But for me, I just don't have the time. Right. I don't have time to sit at home on the couch and do that. If I'm not cleaning up after my kids, or working on some work stuff, I'm at work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or I'm here once in a while. But yeah, I mean, we do have a ton of.
What do you think are other subscription? So
you're
very focused on. You're focused on your Pornhub subscription, your OnlyFans, and your.
Don't have any of those.
Chatterbait, is that the other big one you use? So those are entertainment subscriptions, but in society we have subscriptions. I talked about it. We have toll roads. So this idea that you have to pay to go through on that bridge and on that road that your tax dollars already paid for. But
don't get me started.
And now the new thing is, you lease the ability to drive in the carpool lane now in the Bay Area. So you can go get a monthly subscription to be in the fast lane. So 10 years ago, you just were in the fast lane.
Yeah, and that fast lane is like from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can't be in that lane.
Yeah.
You're not allowed
to. It's just a waste of the lane. It's like we're building another lane.
We paid for that lane.
But now we're going to charge you.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to use it?
So that's what I mean.
It's like a buck every exit.
These subscriptions are everywhere. And I'm totally going off our schedule, but
that's on point.
Your debit cards, your credit card, these are subscription models. You use that card, you pay a fee. You pay an annual fee, you pay a per transaction fee. And if you don't pay that in a month, you pay an interest fee.
And that fee goes up every year. Yeah. Because I remember when it first came out,
12%.
Oh, well, I was paying $2 a month for maintenance fees. For like my bank, just to have my checking account, I was paying $2 a month for maintenance fee. And then it was $4, $6. Now it's $16 a month. But they never explained what what is the maintenance fee for? But I remember when this came out during like the Bush Obama years.
Yeah.
Right. When it's like all of a sudden everyone has a hidden fee in everything. And that's just.
Sure. Well, I mean, so one thing that you guys don't look at as well, you might a little bit. So every time you go into a restaurant and you use your credit card to pay for the meal, I pay a fee. Yeah. As the owner, I pay the fee.
Yep.
I pay $60,000 a year in fees.
Just
to allow people to come in and use their credit card. So there's a new model. There's a new model.
Your own money.
There's a new model coming out, and you'll start to see it. I'm sure quite a bit in the future. There's already been some restaurants, especially I've heard in New York, that are putting the fee into the
I've seen that.
But there's a new thing that a lot of these credit card processing companies are, and some POS systems are pushing now, and it's a model where it's supposed to make you feel like you're getting a discount if you pay cash,
right? But
you're really not getting any discount for paying cash. You're just not getting charged the fee. But it doesn't say, if you use cash, you won't be charged this fee. It's like there's a 3% discount for using cash. It's like, no, we're just not charging you the fee, and we're going to push all the fees off to you. But I got to say that is a huge part of the profit margin. The profit margin for restaurants 20 years ago was 20%. Now it's in San Francisco, it's 2 to 3%. Right. So, hey, let me get 3 more percent. That I'll pass that back on. Yeah. So now I'm getting 6%.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. So yes, all those fees, and to do what? To everything's automatic. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak on it because I'm not a banker, but what is a human doing? What is anybody doing to?
Well, what's the difference from I buy a pack of bubble gum for 98 cents? It's probably $2. I don't buy bubble gum.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is nowadays? And
It's
they get
$5.
a percent, 3.4%.
Right.
Well, when I go in and I buy the new electric motorcycle that I want, that's $8,000. And then they charge me, guess what? 3.4%. Did the one transaction take the computer longer than the other transaction?
So
Because it had two more zeros in the numbers.
Who's charging you who's
The bike store owner is going to get 3.4 taken out of his earnings to go to Capital One.
Yes.
For an $8,000 transaction or an 80-cent transaction. Why did that number? Why is it the same?
3.25% or whatever it is.
Yeah. When there is no more labor or no more work to.
And some cards are different. It's like Amex is higher. It's like 4%. Debit cards are less. But here's the thing. Why can't I don't understand why the banks just don't have the processing fee, or not the fee, that just the ability to process, because all your money's doing is going from this terminal electronically through a processing company electronically to the bank. Why can't it just go from my POS to the bank? It's going to go there eventually anyway. That's where
someone in the middle convinced you that we'll do it safer, better. You just give us a cut.
And some will.
Well, you guys are really trying to jump off the topic. So now we're into POS again.
Well,
that's part of the subscription.
And I can back off because this whole topic is something that I love to do.
Well, it's a broader, like subscriptions on us is broader than the entertainment apps. It's like I bring up the internet. I don't know if that was before camera or after, but you pay for the internet at your house. I pay for the internet at my business. I pay for the internet on my cell phone, on my wife's cell phone, on my daughter's cell phone, on my son's cell phone, on my other son's cell phone. I pay for internet how many times? That's a lot of internet I pay for. It's the same internet. So this is how subscriptions are showing up like everywhere. And then if I go to the airport and I want better than the horrid public Wi-Fi, guess what? Fee on the airplane, fee for Wi-Fi. It's the same internet. We're paying for it 9 times. Yeah. And this is what I'm like. So what are other ways that life is subscribing us? The toll fee, the bus passes.
I mean, there were always tolls, right? I remember one of my favorite things was going over the bridge into Boston, growing up and throwing sometimes I'd ask, I would be in the back seat. My mom would let me throw the coins into the bucket. Right. It was 50 cents. It was like 2 quarters. I would throw it in the bucket. I used to love that. Sometimes I'd miss. You get pissed off. And,
you got to get out and pick it up. Right.
Of course, then it was a couple coins. Now it's $11 to freaking cross the Golden Gate Bridge.
I do it every day. Here's my thing. If anybody is watching in the Bay Area that makes these decisions, charge the people who are coming in as tourists a one-time fee to go across the Golden Gate Bridge, $30. People are going to pay it because it's a one-time thing. They want to do it, just like going up in the Empire State Building, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to pay that. But why are you burdening someone like me who drives in every day, pays $11 every day to come in to move money in the economy, right? And pay tax. I pay taxes in the area.
And the highest tax state in the
why not have it? Why not have it where, okay, and I don't mind paying. Give me $5, right? You just charge me $5 every time.
Got locals discount.
Yeah, exactly. And then you charge.
You don't mind paying, but how do you think Michael, my son, works at Dave's restaurant? How do you think his salary range deals with? If he lived in Marin, he couldn't even work. $11 a day is a lot off of his paycheck.
$55 a week. You're assuming I make a ton of money. Most of my employees.
It's not about you. It's about somebody in a minimum wage or a low wage, which most jobs in the Bay Area are low wage. We get tricked because Silicon Valley brings these wages way up. But the reality of everybody that works at a freaking restaurant or works at a grocery store, works at a warehouse, or works in a construction crew, they're all making very low wages comparatively. So someone's doing $40,000 a year. That bridge toll is freaking, that's a lot. Horrific.
Well, you're not going to take that job. You're going to take one locally, right? Yeah. And then, I mean, there should be something because Again,
I don't think the upper middle class cares about this. We have so many subscriptions and so many things that we don't even care. Yeah, I'm going to charge me to be in the fast lane. Fine, I'm going to buy because I'm just so used to convenience. I'm just going to do it, and it fits my earning structure. But what about the 70% of society that doesn't have that kind of money to burn, who still has to coexist in this lifestyle where having access to public roads is being a subscription, where having internet access is being charged 4 and 5
that lane is a busy fucking lane.
So one, I want to touch on two things right there. One is you said a great word, and that's convenience. We pay for convenience, right? We really do. Like everything's about convenience. Why would you order DoorDash and not go get it yourself and pay extra money? Because it's convenient.
You got to put clothes on.
I gotta, I gotta pause the TV, whatever it is. But all those things are out of convenience.
Yeah.
So there's two things with that, and the other. So everybody is ripping on Zoran Mondani for wanting to have I got to bring a little political stuff in here, right? But for wanting to have free, but for wanting to have free buses, right? But you're just saying, how are those people? How can we pay for those buses if you're making low wage job? That's who voted for Mondani. The people with the low wages, the billionaires did not vote for Mondani. I can tell you,
of course not,
right?
No,
but so we have to address exactly what you just said. Like, why is that free? I mean, why is bus not free? Why are buses not free? But in San Francisco, so many big tech industries were getting, so many tax breaks, right? All those tax breaks, all that money could have been going into, the bus system and make it free for everybody, right? So there's no, I'm not a socialist, but I mean, there are aspects of socialism that could be good. Pro
New York, yeah.
I don't care. I want to. I mean, I don't live in New York, so see what happens if he fucks up the city. Then
my Florida real estate, I hope he keeps fucking demolishing New York, because then they flee to Florida and maybe I'll get my house.
But there is a free bus system because of the tech people. But it's only for the tech people.
Right. They'll put the money into that. Yeah, I remember there was a big thing.
Buses were everywhere. They would block up the bus lanes here in San Francisco. And it's like, but that's a free ride for them. But it's like, what do we benefit out of that?
I remember that because
nothing.
Yeah, I drove a taxi at one point. And
did you?
Yeah, and for DeSoto, and they would block up the.
They block up the lane.
Everything, but they'd go in the taxi lane. But yeah. What's next? Get back on track. Our favorite thing is going off topic, but
we as a group struggle to.
We're still on the subject of subscriptions, what it is, and what it relates to. Like fees are a thing.
Yeah,
I remember when fees came out, and I was just like, oh great, now it's fee. It's like even like when you look at Ticketmaster and things like that. Like, oh, I want to go see Bruce Springsteen. Well, it's $150 a ticket plus $60 fee per ticket.
Yeah.
What does that $60 go to? It's not for someone in a room just going, oh, approved.
Yeah. So why is it go?
Why is it $60 per ticket, not per transaction? Yeah. And then now they have like a percentage. It's like, oh, was the ticket $200? Well, it used to be just a flat rate fee per ticket. Now it's a percentage of what that ticket price is.
Yeah.
Like I remember once trying to buy a ticket for, there was this carnival thing happening with horses that did like this whole parade thing. I was going to take my girlfriend out to it, and it was $60 for the show and a $70 fee per ticket. I'm like,
the fee's more than the show.
I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing?
You know what?
And to rent your parking spot outside for an hour, it was $30.
I know what free parking is. I had that going.
So again, I can bring something from the restaurant business into that because, yes, the fees are more expensive than the actual ticket, which is just insane. Yeah. What are those fees for? For example, we have everybody who's not from here comes to San Francisco. What is this SF Healthy fee?
Right.
What is this, right? So some places charge 4%, 5%, 6, 7. I've seen up to 10, right? So my thing. So when this first started, I'll try to make this quick because it is slightly off topic, but it started because there was a bill in San Francisco that was about to pass that they wanted to give everybody health care that didn't their jobs didn't offer it, right? So at the time, the restaurant that when I worked for, they did offer health care, right? So
Nice.
so they didn't have to participate. But what this does, SF Healthy, what people don't realize is that as a business owner, you pay, if you have up 1 to 99 employees, I think it is, you pay, it just went up $2.75 per hour per employee. Okay. So, and everybody says, why don't you just build that into the price of everything? And I get that. And I'd love to do that. But the problem is, if it's not regulated that you have to do that, Pete's restaurant is down the street, your restaurant's down the street. I'm here and I say, I'm going to build everything in to the prices. My steak is $4 more than your steak, $3 more than his steak. You're a consumer, you're walking down the street, you're going to look at the menu, steak, 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 and go into your restaurant because it's the cheapest. Even though you charge it 8% at the end, and you charge 6% at the end. That's why yours are a little bit cheaper or whatever. Yeah. And I don't charge anything on that fee, and my steak's higher. And so nobody's going to come into my restaurant. Right. So until it's regulated, and everybody has to have the same set fee.
So you sound very pro, like you sound like if we were talking conspiracy theory on who did this, you are coming across as like you're on the board of directors on the people who want to do this to us because you have, as a business owner, this need to compete in the marketplace. So damn it, subscription fees and extra fees on everything, I'm all for. I have to be able to put them somewhere.
I don't know if it's that simple.
No, I mean, okay, so how did we get here, I guess? I mean,
that's ultimately what I was trying to say. This thing was about it. We've been sold the subscription to everything. So this first 10, 15 minutes was supposed to be how many ways do we see subscriptions happening? You're talking about in business owners. We've talked about toll roads and things like that. We've obviously talked about entertainment apps. I've talked about internet. So I think we've covered a big pool of how these are showing up. And this is just a small bit. I mean, these show up freaking everywhere in society.
Yeah, I'm on Tinder and there's different levels of what you can pay. Like, oh, did you want this? It's $40 a month, but get the gold standard, that's $80 a month. And get the platinum, you get seen more and there's more opportunity.
Even like if you're on social media and you're just on a free account, I have a normal Facebook account that I don't pay for, and I'm just on. Well, yes, you are paying because they're putting you through the dopamine hit of the enragement, of the agitation, of then the freaking little kitten video, and then the Adidas shoes that you want, and then they're going to do it to you 100 times a day. So you're paying a subscription, even though you, like me, I skip Pandora's commercials, YouTube Premium because I don't want the commercials, but everybody else is paying by being brute force advertised to, like literally being psychologically, I've been calling it Clockwork Orange, where they're literally like, but we're volunteering to have this very.
But one of the tricks they do now, like on YouTube, since you guys pay, you don't know this. Like it used to be just like 5 second skip, then it's 15-second skip. Yeah. Now they take and they cut that page in half. You got to wait till it's halfway to hit skip, and sometimes that skip button is translucent, and it's right next to that, so you can accidentally hit the ad button. They've been doing these tricks just to make you like. But also, and every time you open it, it's like, do you want to subscribe? Do you want to rent this every month? I'm like, no, I'll stick with the ads. But I fucking hate this. They're trying to get you to subscribe. They're going to annoy you until you find out.
What do you think of my concept that some very smart capitalistic world type leaders sold us individualism so that all of these subscriptions become hyper personalization of everything? But that hyper personalization of everything is sold to us as personal freedom. We have choice, but we've been told that we have to have this. So this concept of breaking down community. We used to share broadcast TV. We used to share radio. We used to share the same movies. We as a community would react in waves and in group, and we were happier. And I don't know too many people our age that think that we're happier now than that period of human existence. We were much happier back then. So, but we were more communal. They treated us as a community. We were given the healthy food pyramid as all citizens should do this pyramid. That was its own scam. But we were treated communal. And then somewhere along the way, what I'm saying, these people, capitalists, very highly intelligent, realize that if they clockwork orange human beings through this internet device, this phone, this iPhone phenomena that came out, that now all of a sudden the subscription madness has happened.
Well, look at TVs. They don't come with channels 2, 3, 4, and 5 anymore, and 7. Like
you buy channels, dude.
They don't come with anything.
They actually do have free channels.
TV doesn't have TV.
They have a lot of them too.
You got to buy something to get that adapter to have, like, if I get a TV and I plug it in, I turn channel 2, 3, whatever those.
No, I'm pretty sure that even the TV behind us,
like my
TV,
LG,
I
have to hook it up to something. I have to get a special
wife watches ABC News every morning. When she wakes up at like 6 in the morning, she turns on the news, and it's on the free channels. So they do have it.
That wasn't a mine. Does have some free channels, right? The whatever it is, I think we have a Samsung, but it's it didn't have KTVU, which is the one I wanted to watch. Right? So it didn't have it. So and I was pissed when that happened, because I was like, wow, I used to just watch it with cable. But anyway, do you think though that it's people want capitalism, yes, but people want to make the money, and they're just going to find any way possible to do that. I also think that it's giving you opportunity, whereas, like you said before, 8 o'clock was either you watch Bill Cosby, the whatever, give me another 80s sitcom, whatever it was, right? And, whatever, Martin Lawrence, right. But that's all you could watch, right? And then the DVR came out, right? I started DVRing it, and then I think people wanted options, so and I think that in that aspect it's great. And the thing is, are you going to pay for those options? You're not forced to pay for those options. That's the convenience of paying for it. To pay for those options.
But are we considering the cost? So, as you said, convenience earlier, out of my point, the cost to give us those options has severely handicapped the middle class and the poor, because they don't have the same options of the upper. So you're talking a mass of people, 60-70% of people are not under the same freedoms that you talk about or that I talk about.
Sure.
They are under much different.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
what is so yes, we have this individualism, which meant hyper personalization of everything, which cost more. And this is what I'm saying. And as you do this hyper individualism, what's happening for the majority of society is they can't afford individualism. So they are literally, I think at one point it's like you're leasing your identity. You are leasing your personality. And if you can't afford to keep up with your subscriptions, and you can't afford to keep up with modern society's plastic money, which is another subscription, then you are forfeiting cost. You are excluded from society. And what is the emotional damage? How's that showing up on social media and rage?
I think that's happened in other aspects of life. Look at just like clothing, right? Brand names. Those all affect the same people, right? Like, I remember, you wanted the whatever it is brand, the Guess jeans or whatever, and I couldn't afford those, right? So
Bugle Boy it was.
Yeah, whatever it was, you guys, whatever it was, it was always like, I never had that. I had a lot of hand-me-down stuff. Yeah. Because I didn't grow up with money. But it's in school, every year when you start school, get back to school, you get back to school clothes, right? Yeah, I love that. The popular kids had all the nice clothes, right? But it's always been that way in the classes, whether it's you're paying for it with a subscription here, but you've always had the identity. There's always been that I'm better than you sort of thing. And the problem is that the the working class, or is there even a working class anymore? But the lower and middle class and the poor, they want to be like that. Look at, here's a perfect example: knockoffs. I got a Folex. I got a fake Fendi bag. It looks like it. But why do you want to have that? Because you want to fit in, right? You want to look like you have money. You're gonna, all these people are gonna pay for the subscriptions. It's killing them, but they're gonna do it because now they're forced to, pretty much. But
I don't know that, like I said, I don't think it's long past choice. I think, yes, I can choose Netflix and ESPN and Disney or whatever my combinations are. And it's self-restraint to not go out of my affordability. But I think the grander picture that's happening to a lot of people is you're not even aware of how taxed you actually are. How much of modern life are we having to sign up for? We talked about, let's go back into business, auto payments on everything. So, in my business, I own a tattoo studio, but I also own my brand development agency. I also do a mural business. And on top of that, I have a museum exhibit. So I now have to pay for websites for every one of those. So just in business, you're being subscribed over, and then it used to be comes with email. Well, now it doesn't come with email. Now you have to pay for hosting, and you have to pay for Gmail, and then you have to pay for it's kind of like Facebook. I said you pay to get the followers, and then you have to pay to talk to them.
And that's all a lot of monopolizing. That's all comes from where, before, that whatever it was, they offered that. And now, let's partner up with this one and we'll make you pay for the email. Well, it, that goes deeper into
And it seems tiring to me because everything we look at is just like, and I commend your just willingness to be like, oh well. But it's like, how long are we going to do this? Oh well, I mean, the amount of subscription fees we're paying to be alive.
Yeah, sure.
You may not see as much when you're wealthier or upper middle class, but we're starting to have a division, and it's going to happen. It's happening in the Bay Area.
We've had a division.
Yeah, we always will.
The Bay Area is going to show this probably more than most places because Silicon Valley and the AI cluster here in San Francisco. But the rest of the jobs are not market value jobs. The houses cost $2 million. That's a $9,000 a month mortgage. But you got most people making $20 to $30 an hour. And they try to tell you that it's different, but it's not. And so these people, this poorer class, and I call blue collar class, like we can't afford everything to be subscribed all the way around us. And then not to mention you have, I guess maybe we feel, because now you have classification. Now you have social class prejudice because you have people, I'm not even allowed to be in the fast lane. Really? How embarrassing. I'm always over here in the slow lane. Out of the roads my tax dollar paid for, regardless of my social class.
This is what drove San Francisco down, in my opinion. 20 years ago, I mean, you could even see it, and it hit a boiling point around the pandemic, and it's starting to get a little better now. But like the income disparity got so great, and it started off. There's always been really wealthy and really poor here, but there was always a huge in the middle, and most people lived in the middle, and then there was the high end and the really poor. And now it's gone like this, and there's this amount that actually live comfortably, and then the rest live way comfortable, and the rest are struggling. And it's not it's that had that started happening in the early 2000s in my opinion, and you could see it slowly going and going and going and going, and they didn't do anything about it. And they again give all these breaks to the tech companies because they wanted to come in, and that was, to me, that's where it.
And then the price of everything shot up through the roof.
Yeah, because you're going to, when I first moved to San Francisco in 2004, I had a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate. I paid $650 each, so it was $1,200, $1,300 or something. That wasn't bad. I'd make that in a week, no problem. Now, that same apartment's probably $3,000.
Some are, but
They're coming down a little now, I hear, but
I still know plenty of people who still have a really good fucking rent control here, and they have a hard time keeping roommates. Like, yeah, this guy, it's like his place is 700 a month, and he's been there for like 10, 15 years, and he keeps going through roommates because they just don't know how to live like that. They're like I know people who are paying $600 a month in the Castro on Market Street, right at Castro, for like 20 years. This dude didn't have a license. He would make, oh, my rent is 600 a month. Oh, I only need to make $1,000 a month to live. He didn't take advantage of the situation. We're like, well, if I just work to make 3 grand a month, I can save 2 grand a month and then live really comfortable. But he's like, oh, I'll just do what I can to get the bare minimum because he's living at bare minimum. So it kind of kept him poor because he's like, well, I'm living convenient. I got weed. I live in a beautiful neighborhood and I don't need to work. He's like, I only need to work 10 hours a week. I'm good. And it's like, there is that mentality with things. And I know plenty of people in the city who still pay really cheap rent and they won't live above their means where I once went, well, if I make $1,000 a month, I can live comfortably. But if I make 3 grand a month, I could save money to go buy a house or go do something else or have, tour. And like I said, I'm going to motivate myself and take advantage of my situation. But there's still people I know who just, I don't.
All right. Well, wrapping up, let's get to final thoughts on subscriptions. Kind of looking back at what we talked about, I guess let's go into the future instead of how we got here. I think we only scratched the surface. Not sure if we just.
It's not changing. We're not going to have less subscriptions. Everything. It's going to. If nothing, is going to be more.
Bridge still doesn't go down. It always goes up.
Everything's going to be. It's always going to go up. It's going to.
Because they need more maintenance fees.
Onslaught of AI taking jobs and AR, I know complete industries that are getting wiped the fuck out right now. Copywriting, for starters, something you mentioned earlier. There's 90% less writing jobs available now because of AI. You can go across the same thing to social media content, advertising, to business planning, to accounting.
Even look at AI. Like I just mentioned, look at, you got to pay if you want to hire.
You know how many AI apps I pay for?
You're going to have, I know I have a lot too. You're going to have to, and it's going to be.
There's an even scarier thought because they're getting us to pay for these subscriptions to train the AI to replace us. So all the work that I'm doing as a filmmaker and as a design agency and a web developer that I'm putting into AI, that I'm taking in and putting on a commercial, I'm literally teaching the mechanism how to design and my process of filmmaking and storytelling. And we're all doing this. We're not only doing it for free, we're paying them $200 a month. So I think ChatGPT's pros account's $250 a month. I do $90 a month for Hegsfield, which is a cinematic AI thing. And I think Free Pick's another $40 one. I have ChatGPT, which I only do $20 on.
Yeah, I do the cheap one.
And then we have AI meeting taking one. That's another one. So first of all, we don't, as humans, think too well about this. We don't categorize that many expenses and understand what the total number is. I think that's one of the reasons they love the subscription model is when you have 22 line items, your normal human brain doesn't calculate the total.
And then not only that, you can pay, $10 a month, or you can pay $89 for the year. And then
I'll save you $30.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
I do that one. And this year I started my business, this studio that we're in today, around January, February last year. So my web hosting contract, I'll pay it a year in advance. I'll save that 25%. Oh, my domain registration, I'll pay it a year in advance. Oh, my ring for my alarm. So we have to have an alarm for our insurance, with the police department. I'll pay it a year. Man, did it screw me because I forgot about all those, so to speak, in just first year in business here at this location. And man, all of a sudden we're getting money in January and there's no money in my account. And it's
time
like
to re-up your
7,
subscription.
8 auto payments fucking come in, and if you don't pay, here's the thing too, because you're so addicted to being leased now, that if I lose this thing, I'll lose this is what I mean by releasing our personality, our identity. Because if you choose not to pay for some of these subscriptions, I lose the ability to be in business.
Yeah.
I can't just turn off the AI subscriptions and expect to be in business. I can't turn off my Google subscription for advertising and expect a private tattoo studio to be in business. I can't turn off the internet. I can't turn off.
Look what you just said about your alarm. You have to have an alarm in order to be insured. That's a requirement.
Another subscription.
You have to get
another subscription. Forced. This isn't freedom. We haven't been free in so long.
That's very true. Very true.
We are free to be consumers. And my point on the individualism is when they got us to pray to the altar of individualism so greatly, they made a capitalistic monopoly move that just ushered in the subscription economy, and we're doomed. You're right. It's not going away.
Well, you talk about the individualism. Like this struck me because we grew up. We were skaters and punk rock. We were always about individualism.
Yeah.
It was never about conformity. Never about conformity. And I did just make that analogy about.
But everybody opened up Thrasher magazine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did have a subscription.
Right? No, we had commonality.
Yeah.
Now,
I had a subscription to Transworld. Back then. So,
I got the 9 Club. That's a podcast for skateboarding, and it's free still.
That's right.
But I wanted to touch on something. And it's just what I've noticed is NFL. So we got the Super Bowl coming to Santa Clara. Not San Francisco, Santa Clara. That's where it's going to be played.
I heard somebody the other day said, it said San Jose, and then a guy corrected. This is on a news channel.
Yeah.
But he's out of Philly, I think. But said no, it's Santa Cruz. No, it's not even San Jose. And I'm just sitting there going, Santa Clara.
Yeah, it's the next town over. I've heard that all the time. But one thing I noticed, so NFL, over the last 10, 15 years, they had you get the NFL channel, right? You can pay $400 a year, and they added Red Zone as an enticing thing to get it. And then through time, where it went, one place to watch NFL now is on YouTube. You can watch most of the games. And then Verizon had a package. You get the NFL app, and you could choose one team plus your local team that no matter what, you can always see their games. And then there used to be a system on TV where there was always 4 games a week you get to see on 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's always a local game. Or it's a lot of times Raiders games, and those would get blacked out because not enough tickets got sold. So you can't even see that. But now, in order to watch NFL games, especially the weekend, a couple weekends ago, where there's 4 games that weekend.
Yeah.
One's Peacock, one is Prime, one is Fubo, which is associated.
Yes. And you think that's by accident?
No, but that's what it's
I hate conspiracy theories, but this plays into
you gotta get off
capitalistic greed.
You got to get off 4. But
that's the point I'm making is where I'm
going to all 4.
But that's
can't be.
Why can't I? Can 2 channels have them? I would be texting my family all right, who's got subscription to this one? I'll share my Peacock. You give me your Prime. Who's got?
And what's funny is we pay for all these subscriptions and they still have advertising in them. If I paid for it, why am I getting advertising?
I just want to watch the game, though. But there's only
I got to add Peacock too. Which I got it for the Premier League.
And that's how you.
I wanted to call you out so bad when you were like, "Oh, look at YouTube." I'm like, "The freak you do."
But that's a good thing because
you have i360.
I haven't used it.
You have freaking Opus fucking AI. You have just the ones with middle-minded.
No. I wasn't saying. I have a ton of subscriptions. I have a ton of subscriptions. Sirius XM in my car, but. I'm talking, and there's subscriptions for work stuff too that I have, but I'm talking as far as TV. That was what I was.
We used to pay for radio by listening to ads. Now you pay for Sirius and still listen to ads.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. It's just we are so unfree. And
well, why did the Sirius XM? That was kind of a whole thing where. And it was Howard Stern who really kind of put that on the map because he was just tired of getting getting fined by the FCC. It's like,
if you pay for it, then you can swear.
Yeah. So, or do any other, most other crazy things that he wanted to do. And so, and that's what you pay for, the benefit. But yeah,
I think that's the point of individualism too, is that attitude though. If we're all a little punk rock and we're all a little rebellious, there's 8 billion of us out there promoting being rebellious as the greatest moral code, this individual. And this is the point that I try to tie back. The subscription model that we're being able to be almost ambushed or fucking bullied into, like I go back to the subscription, just have a piece of plastic. To join society, you have to pay for an ID. Like you have to subscribe to being a human. It's not, we talk about human rights and all these freedoms, but we literally have to pay money to exist in modern life.
I still have a CD player in my car, so if I want to, I still got a big old stack of CDs. Pop those in and just tune out. I can listen to our old bands playing or something.
I only have albums
I
now.
don't.
I got to put a turntable in my car.
I'm 100% digital.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you pay for.
That's what I do.
All right, y'all. Middle-minded. This has been the subscription fatigue. I don't know that we talked about fatigue that much. I think we displayed fatigue.
It is. It's tiring. It's tiring. It's tiring. Just looking at your bank statement at the end of the month or the end of the year, and just realizing how much you're paying in subscriptions.
I got really nostalgic when I thought about this, because I do remember the 70s and 80s, and granted, I might have been 10 years old or 16 years old, but I just remember everybody being so much happier when we didn't have to rent TV and rent internet and rent 5 phones per family, and like all these fees that have shown up in modern life and everywhere we look are so exhausting, and it's really it's pathetic. It's like, I just see us, we're so not happy as we used to be.
I want to just lastly, so
I tried to close.
Okay, if you're paying for all those fees, I have SF Fireman's Credit Union. That's my bank. I have Chase for my business. I was just talking to my banker from my business, and he asked me, he's like, "Yeah, I noticed you don't bank personally with Chase." And I was like, "Who do you have?" I said, "San Francisco Fireman's Credit Union." "Oh, okay. Why do you have no fees? If I use an ATM somewhere, they reimburse me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It could be at I can go and take it out at a casino where they're charging me $50 for the transaction to take out $500, and they'll reimburse me. It doesn't matter, right?" So that little plug. They're not a sponsor, but that's a great. Credit unions are a great way to get away from that.
That's right.
But to go back to that, I remember when I think I had Bank of the West, and I remember one time I used to overdraw a lot. I was in the restaurant industry. We had a ton of cash all the time, didn't have much in the savings. And I remember that one time the lady said, "Well, if you're getting these $33 fees every time." I remember I bought a cup of coffee, and I wouldn't have bought it if I knew I only had, less than enough for that in the bank. Right. And so she said, "Oh, you can get away from the fees. Just have that money in a savings account. And then when it overdraws, we'll only charge you half to do that." And I said, I literally straight faced, I said, "Lady, if I had the money in the savings account, why wouldn't I pull it over to the checking account and have you charge me no fee?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, you could do that too."
She's trying to sell you on this thing.
But yeah, there's a fee for everything.
Yeah. Fees, not freedom. Fees.
I'm feeling you on that one.
All right, y'all. Middle-minded. The episode is over today. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen. Appreciate it as always.
Pete, Dave.
Peace.